like we said, I'm going to get into this word. I pray you get your fans and fan yourselves. Amen. But like my apostles used to tell me, it's hotter in hell. I said, how you know? And the Bible told me so. Amen. So, let's just sit back, get ready to get the word. All right, get your ice and everything before we start. You know what's going first. It's not a joke. We in church. People are looking. So we got to get this together. Amen? Amen. We know it was the blood. And the blood saved me. Coming back to this, Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for your message. We thank you for all that you've done. We ask that you will continue to bless the people, that the words that they hear may be edifying. In Jesus' name, amen. It's important that we realize something, because the first of the month was my birthday, so I wasn't able to bring forth the word. But today I'm going to bring forth the word, and then next week I'm going to bring forth the word again, and the elder's going to bring forth the word in the afternoon of the first Sunday. So we're going to see how God leads us into the word. But something is very important that elder said today in Sunday school. He said something about the people, amen, that leave ministry. They need to come back to the place they left. And many times this is important because people are afraid to come back to the place they left because of shame. You need to let that shame go. Because the same place you got your credentials from, you should not be ashamed to go back to that place. Because they blessed you with the education and the knowledge for you to get your credentials to even start your own ministry, but now you're too afraid to go back and say thank you. The scripture in the Bible, it says about the seven that got the lepers that got healed, and only one came back. The seven didn't get, their sins came back on them because only one came back to give thanks. It's important that we realize that. No matter what, you should always come back just to say how you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You've been in ministry with the person 5, 6 years, then you leave, and then you come back, and then you don't want to say thanks. What kind of God did you serve? So don't be afraid to come back and say how you doing, or thank you. Even though it wasn't I that did it, it was God, but He used a vessel to sign that document. And now that document, the 3 documents you got, you're using to open your own establishment, but you're not giving, thank you to the one that helped you learn how to do this. I'm just saying this to help somebody when you get your ministry, because I never could understand how Apostle Dugan would tell me this stuff. And I'm like, what you talking about? And I wouldn't understand, but now that I'm pastor of my own church, I understand how that could hurt someone. Because I used to always tell them, well, you didn't do it, God did it. You shouldn't get no credit. But now I realize, even though God used you to do it, you still hurt when they leave and don't come back. Yes, yes. Because you labored that in them. And then they got the audacity to talk about you afterwards. And she used to always tell me that when I was bad like that, you're going to get what you reap, what you sow. And what I used to do to her is coming to me, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. I couldn't understand. Now I understand her pain of that little stuff that may be minute to me at the time. Now that I'm in leadership, I feel her pain that it ain't minute. And this is where He brought me today. He brought me into the realization that people need to come back. No matter how messed up you feel you are, don't worry, come back. We're preaching a sermon of come back, of reconciliation. Come back, just come back to say hello. You don't have to come back to apologize for the way you left. Forget about it, it's under the rug. But at least come back and say, God bless you, I'm all right. I want to worship with you, not against you. I'm not against you. If I was against you, I would have never signed your documents. I'm not the one that changes. I was with you in the beginning, I'm with you to the end. So you need to come back though. Because remember, you got it, but you can't keep it unless you go back and get some more. Because that's the source line. And I've learned that from a lot of things I used to do. I had to always go back. I don't know why I kept going back to her, but I kept going back to her. And I kept going back to her. And I couldn't do nothing in ministry till she allowed me to do it. And the last of the was like, now you can go and do what you have to do. But I couldn't understand why I had to keep going back. And now I realize it won't work till you get it right. You might think it's working, but it's not working. You're going to have to go back. So why not just go back and get it right? Instead of running and running and running. And everybody know who you came out of.
Yep.
So you're not running nowhere. Everybody know you belong to the glory of God. You started with the glory of God. Now you want to, what? They know. This is the way the Lord is moving me today. He's saying, tell the people that He knows what they're doing. And the same people you're running to is the same people that know me, so they know. And if there was any smart, they say you can go back and get it right. I had one person tell one of the members, don't go back because you don't want to go back to that. That what? That body of Christ? That sermon? Or that meat? That you don't want to give them? Just because the sermon is hard doesn't mean you run from it. Just because you don't agree with everything that is said don't mean you get mad and up and leave. If that be the case, where you going to live? Your landlord, you be gone. Your job, you be gone. You got to learn that we say, on a term, we say, roll with the punches. It's just going to help you get better. And this is where He's taking me today, to reconcile, but to let somebody that's going to agree with this on YouTube understand. You're not too far gone that you can't come back. And don't let somebody whisper in your ear after you done labored with someone for 10 years to let the devil just come and snatch you. It's terrible. Because the person that signed is still there. They're not moving. You still running in front of the home. When your home is here all the time. Wisdom, somebody. And this is going, all my sermons on YouTube to help somebody. That's why people know me. I got over 1,000 sermons on there, and they know me because of the sermons. And they're like, God, this guy will teach. He really get into the Word. He don't play around. You know, we can shout, we can dance, we can swing off the chandelier. But what have you done for God? How have you taught me how to make it tomorrow? Amen? Amen. Church with a purpose. We're going to get into this quick fast. There's quite a few, but I want you to get a pen, because as Elder was doing Sunday school, the Lord was giving me a word. So I was wondering, I know why He had him do Sunday school, but now I realize it was because He had something for me to tell you guys. And the things that the Lord told me to tell you guys, nobody else is going to tell you because nobody else knows. This stuff is original. This is not no copycat stuff. That's why we love the glory of God, because the glory of God is always original and new. You cannot copy the glory of God. And the glory of God will not copy you. So nobody can tell me I'm preaching what they said. Nobody can tell me I'm teaching what they taught. Because everything we teach and everything we taught came straight from God. Straight from the heavens. It don't come from nobody but God. And that's why they can't swallow it. Because they can't take God. Everybody can't take the glory of God. Some people run from the glory. When the glory came, they ran because they were not clean. And if you was clean and the glory came, it destroyed you. Anything that could, man, everything can't stand in front of the glory of God. Foolishness goes. Backbiting goes. Ridicule goes. Whispering goes. Murmuring goes. All that stuff gone. Every time I look in the church, I say, thank God for what He gave us. The foolishness is not here. And if we're in a place that foolishness is there, He gets us out. He don't let us stay in foolishness too long. He's like, I'm time for you to go. He caused something to happen. Say, you got to go. Got to go. We're coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 14. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Right? If you want to learn something, read chapter 14 of 1 Corinthians. It tells you the order of church, the order of worship. And what I've been doing for the past month is teaching on the order of God. I've been teaching on the order of the church, even in the Bible study, with order in the church because of what happened. That moved God, moved me. And you know, when you're in leadership, you got to give an account for the people, not just for yourself. So you got to put your feelings aside and worry about them children that's in the church. Worry about them new members that's in the church. Don't care about how you feel hurt. Hurt me all you want, but I'm not going to hurt the other people that came to church. Because they looking at me, how I react to you. Read it. I'm not going to get into it, but if you go to verse 14, 26, read it. Read the whole 1 Corinthians, chapter 14. Follow after love or charity and desire spiritual gifts. The word Elder was speaking on this morning in Sunday school was desire. You got to desire the meat. You got to desire the knowledge. You got to desire the spiritual gifts. How can you get the gifts of the Spirit and you don't desire it? Desire means you got to long for it. You got to want it so bad that it hurt. But here you is speaking in tongues but got no desire to serve God. How are you going to have no desire to serve God and speak in tongues? God is the tongue you speak, so you got to have a desire to serve Him. And if you had a desire to serve Him, you would love everybody. You would not backbite, ridicule, disrespect, or talk about anybody. Where is your love? But you want the spiritual gifts. Where is the desire to live holy? There's a lot to this thing here. It's not just because you hear about it. It's not just because you've seen it done. You got to have an original of yourself. Anybody can pop. But it's not effective. Because what you're doing, you're pop, but you're still angry, you're still bitter, you're still upset, you're still nasty, you're still rude. So what's the pop for? When you're speaking, the tongue is to edify and clean yourself out. So if you're speaking, then you should show some progress on the outside of change. But you got no change, but you pop. But you're still the same dirty, nasty person.
Yes.
Whose tongue do you have? Whose spirit do you have? He touched on something in Sunday school called discernment. People have to have meat. You still eat the milk, but you got discernment. You can't even break down the scripture, but you got discernment. You can't even spell discernment. But I can discern you. You don't like me. The devil is a liar. What like got to do with it? I love you. You can't discern like. The devil plays with like. He can't touch love. Because that's a fruit of the Spirit. Come on, somebody. You got to desire spiritual gift. The reason why you don't got it is because you don't desire it inside. You want it because you see somebody else with it and you think it's cute. So you want it, but you don't desire it. Because if you desire it, it becomes a part of you. And there's nothing you could do until you get it. Remember we preached last week, the week before when I preached about Naomi? Ruth desired what she had, would not leave. You desire what the glory of God has, but you're gone. What desire is that? How do you desire the mantle, Elisha, but you're gone? When Elijah left, you're gone. If you desire it, you'll be right there when he go up. Do you really desire it? Do you really desire to be part of the glory of God? Or is it just a facade? See, in order to be part of a ministry, you got to really desire to be part of it. Then you will understand everything that happens. No matter what happened, I'm not moving. No matter what happened, I'm not making the church look bad. No matter what happened, I'm not reacting in a negative way. I don't care how they act. Follow peace with all men. You don't come out of character. Because listen to this. If someone was to jump off and you wasn't calling 911, and if you louder than the person you calling 911 on, they're taking you. Yes. You're the one causing the... You ever seen that happen? Yeah. Somebody called the cops and they wind up in jail because they just as bad as the person they call the cops on. The person called the cops on is doing nothing. And you just are yelling and cursing and screaming, and the cops are like, oh, you disorder. And you wind up going to jail instead of the person you call the cop on. That's what's going on in the body of Christ. If you are a leader and you work, come on, you should have a better example than the person that is not a member or not a leader. I know it might sound rough, but this is where the Lord brought me this month because of the situation. It has to get better. You can't bring Egypt into the promised land. It's not going to work. Remember the man preached? The second Sunday he came and preached about the wilderness experience, how Joshua went over to Jordan, but he couldn't bring that nonsense with him. We're in our Jordan.
Thank you, Lord.
The floodgates are opened. The hurt, the abused, the used are coming. But when they come and you're at each other's throat, what good are you? This is just a sermon, not a rebuke. This is just the word of God. This is all biblical. You got a desire to change. You got a desire to live right. You got a desire to make amends. I ain't never too big that I can't say, yeah, I made a mistake, I apologize. Even if I didn't make the mistake, I still say, I apologize. Because I got to follow peace with all men. It's not about you. It's about me. So even if I wasn't wrong, the Bible tells you that. The Bible tells you that. He said, blessed are those that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. So you're righteous, you know you're doing right, but they still persecute you. You say, bless you. What did you say? Jesus said, kill them now, God? He said, no, forgive them. Stephen, stoned to death. They throwing bricks at him, boulders in his face. He said, Lord, forgive them. They don't charge them with this act. Here goes somebody just yelling at you and you can't say forgive them? They're not throwing stones at you or bricks at you. You're not bleeding, so why can't you just walk away and let it be? But you want spiritual gifts, but you don't desire the holiness that goes with it. You got a desire to change. He's taking me there. And this is where he's at. And this is all what he's saying. This is important. Follow after love. So other words, follow after charity. What does follow mean? Go behind it. You got to follow it. It didn't say follow for a little while. It said follow after love. Then you can desire spiritual gifts. But if you're not following love, what are you following? Hate? These are commandments for us to live by, not bishop. The Bible said follow after love and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye prophesy. For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. For no man understandeth him, howbeit in the spirit he speaketh mysteries. He speak mysteries unto God. So I'm going to say it, I hear it all the time, but I don't need you speaking to God in front of me. Because I can't understand what you're saying. So go on in your house, in your closet, and speak in tongues. There's no need for you to be laying hands on me talking about ha, 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 ha. What are you saying? I can't understand, ha, 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 but your hand is on me. No, I'd rather you talk some words that I can understand, and you in your bathroom.
Praise the Lord.
Because it is It's in there. Read your book. It's in there. He said, I'd rather you speak not many tongues. Because we can't understand. It's unprofitable for me. I'd rather you prophesy because you don't understand what you're telling me. But he don't say don't speak, but it's how you do it and where you do it at. Especially on the mic. You got the mic and everybody got to hear for 3 hours. But nobody understands the words you said. And they all going outside. Like the devil beating them up. The devil comes and they can say, where is the power? Where is the wisdom? But you want to stay away from the glory. Why leave the glory of God when it's all wisdom and knowledge in there? That's like people in the wilderness leaving the tent of the holies of holies and going to the devils. We got another one. 1 Corinthians 12. He took me to these first verses. He said, just talk about these first verses. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Check that word out. Ignorant. He don't want people to be ignorant when it pertains to the spiritual gifts. What is that in 14? 13. No, 14. Follow after love and desire spiritual gifts. And then in 13 he said, don't be ignorant. How can you desire something you know nothing about? You got to know something about it to desire it. Don't be ignorant. Just because somebody say you should have them, you don't know what it is you should have. You should have the spiritual gifts. I got all 9. Right there, I'll be gone. There's no way you can have all 9. Because then you can hear everything I'm thinking. You can be retarded. If you walk with all 9 gifts and you hear everything I'm thinking. Discerning everything. If you had all 9, you'd be rich. Because you know every stock market that's about to get up. You know everything that's going to crash. You know everything. You got word of wisdom. You got word of knowledge. You know everything. You don't have all of them. The only one that had all of them was Jesus Christ. He's the only one. And he gave us part. To one is given, to one is given, to one is given. That's why when Jesus, well, he could have did it on his own, but he wanted to teach John and James how to do it, so he always had 3 people with him. Very rarely do you see an apostle raise, I'm not going to go there, but very rarely can you see an apostle raise the dead by themselves. They need more people with them. They need one person that has the gift of healing, and they need one person that got working a miracle. Because you got to be able to work a miracle to bring that body back. And you got to have healing to heal them from what they died of. But you got some people saying, I got it. And the devil is a lie. You ain't got it. You don't even know what it is they died of. How can you bring somebody back from the dead and you don't know what they died of? Think about it. I'm going to raise you, but I don't know what you died of, but I'm going to do it. Lord, raise them for whatever it was they died of. Doesn't work that way. You got to have word of wisdom. And the word of wisdom will let you know what it is. Then you got to have faith beyond normal faith in order to believe that spirit can be called back. And you got to have knowledge to know if that person was saved or not. Because if they're not saved, they can't come back.
Go ahead, man. Come on, Bishop, now.
But they desire spiritual gifts but don't know what it is they desire. You can't bring back the dead if they ain't saved. Satan is not giving up that ghost. You think Satan gonna say, here, you got him back. Once you dead and you dead in Satan, that's it. But if you're in Christ, then Christ will give it back and bring you back up. Why would God want to raise up the dead when they're going to do more killing?
That's right.
This person died killing 18 people and get saved, so I'm going to come and raise him from the dead so you go 18 more.
Go ahead now.
No, there has to be a reason to raise him back. Why would you raise back a murderer? What are you going to do, murder more? So is the blood going to be on God because you brought him back?
Good teaching, good teaching.
But they don't know this. Why? Because nobody's teaching this in the church anymore. They just jumping and shouting and praising, and nobody know how to do world spiritual warfare. You can hear so many people out here preach we're in spiritual warfare, but don't know how to fight.
Oh, God, have mercy. Come on.
All they know is they in warfare.
Come on. Now, you go ahead now.
That's all they know. They in warfare, but don't know what to do or what tools to use. See, I love the Lord. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody, but I have a wisdom that God has given me for this time. And I thank God He gave me the wisdom for this time. And the wisdom for this time is to let people know, stop playing around with the gifts of God that you think you got. Some people aren't supposed to come back. Some people die for a reason. It's all in the Bible. It's all in the Bible. Remember the rich young ruler? He wanted to come back too. He wanted some water. He wanted a lot. Yeah. You in hell, you want a lot. He wants some water. He wants you to go talk to his relatives. He wants to say something. Come on, man. What? Please. But this is important. Because now you see, you could talk it, you could talk, you could thirst, you could feel, you could see, and you have knowledge of what you've done. So you're going to remember Bishop Preach was saying, get saved because you can go to hell tomorrow. So when you go to hell, you're going to remember Bishop said, get saved. Accept Christ as your Lord and Savior. Because anything can happen. That's what he said. We did 12, let's do 13. Did we do 13? He don't want us ignorant. Y'all need to write these words down and get it to yourself so you can understand. He wants you, one, to desire, and then he wants you, two, not to be ignorant to what you're desiring. Because you can't desire something you don't know nothing about. And if you're ignorant, you're desiring something you don't want. You don't want certain things. You know why you don't want certain things? Because much knowledge brings much sorrow. Read your Bible. Much knowledge brings much sorrow. Much wisdom brings much problems. The more you know, the more hell you're going to get into. And the more you know, the more accountability you got to have. So don't be ignorant thinking you want to know everything and don't know how. You know what I'm saying? I got something. Yeah, all right, you got two gifts. The Lord bless you with a gift. Okay, fine, but you never use it.
Oh, my God.
Because you prayed for it. He that prays shall have whatever he asks. Okay, fine, you got it. What you doing with it? Nothing. Then when you got to heaven, you say, well, you had this gift and you never used it. You never prophesied. You never prophesied. You never spoke in tongues. You never edified yourself because you didn't use your tongues. And if you did, use it for the wrong reason. Because everybody else using it, so I'm going to use it. So everybody else is blowing up, you're going to blow up. And don't even know what you're doing. And don't even know why. Most people get tongues and don't know why they have it. They ain't know what to edify themselves. They don't know what the word edify means. Really? You mean to tell me all these years I tarried to edify myself? I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's what it was for. To build up yourself when you feel weak and down. Not to build up somebody else. You can't build me up with your tongue. You can't put your tongue in me, and then everything's going to work. It's not going to work. It's for you. It's not for me. People blowing me with their bad breath. Knocking me out. Oh, you better take a minute. It's serious. You shouldn't have that. I don't like that. It turned me off. My spirit gone.
That's true, Bill.
I'm like, oh no, I can't receive that. I can't receive that. Lord, beat them up. Then come back to me. It's serious. But this is what some people will do. They don't understand. It's serious. You got to bring the rightness to God. This is real. Look at verse 13. People want to walk through the Bible but don't want to understand what they're reading. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not love, I have become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal, making noise but not having no power, making noise but not doing nothing. You got to have love.
That's right.
You got to have love. But listen to the wisdom that God has given me for you. This is important that you got to tell somebody. You can have the gifts of the Spirit. You can have other stuff. But without love, it won't work. So you got it, but it's not working. Ain't that? You can have it, but it won't work. Look at it. And though I have the gifts of prophecy and understand all mysteries, I got it. But if I don't have love, it's not working. So you got it for no reason. Being a hog, give it to somebody that know how to use it. Ain't that something? So don't nobody tell me just because you don't got love that you can't get it. I can not have love and still have the gift, but it just won't work. And some people have it and lose their love, and then they have it, but it don't work. We gotta love. It's not easy. It's not easy. I've been used, abused, scorned, talked about, ridiculed, and I'm still grateful to God to be alive to have it done. And that's love. So I don't take them back. No, I love them so much that I will pay them back into the ministry. Because I don't want my labor to be in vain. My labor will be in vain if I leave them out there.
That's right.
Then all that work I did in the beginning, if I leave them out there, it's going no effect. No, I started a good work. With the Lord's help, I'm going to finish a good work. If you allow me to. Between me, God, and you, it's going to work out. So come back home. Don't be afraid. Ain't nobody going to look at you no other way. Like my apostle, chief apostle class do, they never looked at me no kind of way. I've been through some stuff she never told nobody, but put me right in the front in the pulpit and said, sit right there. And I dare y'all to say something. That's what she did. And I thank God she did it, because look at where I'm at now. I could testify to her goodness from God that gave her wisdom when I didn't have none. So why would I not extend the same gratitude to someone else? They forgave me over and over again, and now I gotta let somebody just walk, not forgive them? That's wrong. Remember that? I'm going to tell you something, man. I love this stuff. Remember the Bible now. It's in the Bible. The guy that owed 2, 4 talents, or 6 talents, and then he said, go ahead, don't worry about it. And then the other guy owed him 2 talents, and he tried to kill him. That's not good. She let me go many times and took me back in, even after I called her some stuff. Never cursed her, but I said some stuff. Oh, y'all up in there. Y'all up in there. Don't go over there. Y'all up in there. Somebody, you ain't no real apostle. You ain't no, y'all up in there. Tell me I'm the only one. But I admit it. But she accepted me back in. And I'm like, how can a person love me after what I just done? Sitting up there, and people was mad. Who we think he is? Then he was arguing with us yesterday, now he's preaching. They hated that. I was just as happy. With my Kool-Aid smile. Because she loved me. That's what you call genuine love. Genuine love will love in spite of what you do. They don't hold grudges, they take you back afterwards.
Right.
Just like the prodigal son. Everybody use it, but they don't live it.
That's right.
They'll take them back and throw them out. No, take them back and keep them back. So, all right, you did it once, that's enough. No. Keep on doing it over and over again, no matter how long it takes. Though I have and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
Well, take
Right.
So he has that stuff, but can't do nothing because there's no love. You got to love people. I don't care how they do. Bless them. That despitefully use you, they're going to use you. It's okay. I had a hard time understanding it, but now I understand it. The more you use me, the more I pray. And the more I pray, the more you use me. It's okay. It's like a cycle. People say I'm stupid, but they don't know my crown is bigger than theirs. So I'll be stupid on earth and get a reward in heaven. See, I look to the hills. I look for God. I don't look for my reward on earth. So I like to be trampled on and walked over and disrespected for God's sake. Not for foolishness, but for God's sake. Use me. Go ahead. Use the church. Go ahead. The more you do it, the more God is going to bless me for not being like you.
Come on now.
Not being mean and angry and obnoxious
Come on now.
like you. And this is what he wants us to realize. But remember, holiness only. Don't think, and now if you're not living holy, then you ain't got to accept that stuff. Because you stupid.
That's right.
If you ain't living holy and they disrespect you, then you need to do something. But if you living holy and it's because of righteousness' sake, then okay, I accept my, what Apostle Paul said. Given to me was his thorn in the flesh, and then what did Jesus told him in not that one, but when he told him he was on the road, he said, I'm going to show him how much things he must suffer.
Yes.
How much things he must suffer.
Yes, he said it.
You want to be smart, you want to be holy, you want to be understanding the wisdom of God, well now you're going to suffer.
He suffered. Yes, he
You got to suffer for your knowledge.
The greatest possible.
Suffer for your wisdom. But you don't want that. No, they can't talk about me. Who they think they is.
He knocked him down.
But if you want a great ministry, you got to get shipwrecked. You got to get beat. You got to get cursed out. You got to get disrespected. You got to be lied upon. Then you could get to do something.
God was crazy about the ship when Paul was on the ship.
Then you could probably do something. But nobody want to be disrespected or ridiculed or called out a name, but they want to have a name in heaven. You know why them apostles got stones in heaven? Because they were disrespected and killed. Now they got their emeralds and rubies and onyxes. Read Revelation. I know the Bible backwards, praise God. Read Revelation. They got a name, a rock, and a stone in every gate, and a name on every gate because they were disrespected and beat down and ridiculed and chopped their head off. Let somebody come to you with that. Oh, no, please, no.
Wasn't Peter crucified upside down?
Come on, we deal with that in Sunday school. But right now, it's important that you realize this. Many times you are going to be destroyed and murdered. Character assassination for the body of Christ. But if you know in your heart that your character is strong for God, then you stand on your own character. Stand on your own convictions. Who do they say I am? Who do you say I am? I don't care what they say I am. Who do you say I am?
You're right.
Who do you say I am? Bishop Rachel. There you go. God has revealed that to you. Flesh and blood have not. God has revealed that to you. If you could rightly say it so. Man don't make God's people. God makes God's people. People get mad at me all the time because the way God has done things with me is unorthodox. They say, well, how you gonna be a bishop? You ain't had the 18 clergy members lay hands on you.
No,
You ain't had all these officers talk to you and all that. I said, I had all that done with one man, Jesus Christ. He did it all. See, I don't become form or fashion. I become holiness or hell. That's it. Holiness without no measure. Holiness only. So if I believe and I know who God say I am, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, he didn't say 18. 2 or 3 witnesses. Let every word be established. Let every ordination be done. It was done. Witnesses that I don't know. Not 2 or 3 witnesses that you know, like family members. No, these are strangers that came and said, you are going to be. Strangers, you will be. Strangers, this is your day. Strangers, this is what's going to happen. And then visions of how it's going to happen. Visions of who's going to do what.
come on.
That's how you know who you are. So man didn't ordain me bishop. God did through visions, through ordinations, and through witnesses. See? They come to witness and tell you what thus saith the Lord. And probably my mother, back in when I was born, she probably might not remember, but somebody might have came and told her, your son gonna be a bishop.
Around the target.
Your son gonna be a mighty man of God. You never know what they might have told her back in 67, 68. He's a miracle baby. Miracle baby. So you don't know when. You don't know where. But why are people talking about it? I don't understand. It doesn't matter to me. All I know is I'm going to do God's work regardless of what title I have. I walk with Christ. Nevertheless, I live for Christ lives in me. If I do the work of Christ, follow me. If I do the work of man, don't follow me. I do the work of Christ. I have a good report. Read your Bible. What he said to Timothy. You got to have a good report. One wife, not giving a few liquor. Can't say none of that about me. You don't see me here for money. The devil is a lie. I got my own money. The Lord provide. He been providing when I was in sin, and he provided when I came out of sin. Why would he provide while I'm on drugs and not provide when I'm still on?
Oh my God, Jesus.
So, he provide more now because I'm serving. Because I'm doing his work. So don't think it's strange. God is blessing us. He's blessing us because we're preaching his word. He's blessing us because we're feeding the hungry. He's blessing us because we're clothing the naked. And he's blessing us because we're ministering to the needy. You might not see it here, but every time I go into that drug program and I minister to somebody in there, I'm doing God's work. So it doesn't have to be done in the church to say I'm doing God's work. Every time I give somebody some food outside, I'm feeding them. Every time I give somebody a kind word, I'm ministering to them. So it doesn't have to be in here. You don't have to see me do it, but believe me, I'm doing it. And you're doing it. And we don't need no validation from nobody other than God, because there's nobody do nothing for us but God.
Go on, Bishop.
Think about it. And that person that talks about us put food or rent or money in this place to keep it going.
That's right. Thank you,
Go
Lord.
on, Bishop.
So I don't pay them no mind. Talk about me all you want. The doors are still open. And let the church say,
Amen.
in the name of Jesus. We got a while to go. Hey, wait, did I do all this? What I do? I stopped at 13, right? We did 14, we did 12. Now let's go to the one, 1 Corinthians 5, Elder Moore took us, right? No, he was whatever. 1 Corinthians 5. I don't know why he's walking through the book, but he's walking through the book.
Okay.
Like he's walking through the church. Because we got to get back to basics. Because it's something lacking when you start arguing and fussing in the body of Christ. Something is lacking when somebody can step on your feet and you can get mad and want to punch him. But you a saved saint. Something is lacking.
That's right.
Just like that so-called president guy wanted, talking about knock him out. That ain't how God talk. But he's an evangelical. But he want to knock somebody out, but you're an evangelical. No, it don't work that way. Love those. I don't know, I'm going to turn down the cheek because I ain't let nobody get that close to smack me.
That's right.
I knew that six-inch rule. Get in my face. Give me my space. Because I ain't getting you so close that I can't, I gotta weave a little bit. Gotta do my drunk move. I got my drunk move. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forget you. But you can't let that happen. So you don't cause that kind of situation. But if it does, then you gotta turn the cheek. You know, people are stupid. But you gotta be careful how you entertain it. If somebody is so obnoxious and rude, you need to just shut up and sit down. Let them be. They'll run out of steam eventually. But always be conscious of those around you in church. Always be conscious of those around you. Especially when there's children. Because no parent wants their children to see argument in church and then go home and have to see argument from their husband and their wife. Some people come to church and have abusive relationships, and then they come to church and see that same foolishness. Then when they go home, what am I come back for? Remember, this is a new season, a new place. Everything should be started new, and don't bring back that old street mentality. My street died. I crucified my street, I buried it, left it down there, stepped on it, and I forgot where it was at. So I can't pick it up because I don't know where I buried it at. The street buried somewhere, I don't remember, so I can't pick up the street no more. And that's how we gotta do. We gotta bury our feelings of the street mentality that nobody could punk us. Nobody could punk me. Nobody could. No, ain't none of that. You've been broken down in Christ. You shouldn't feel none of that because you've been broken down already. God breaks you down to the lowest you ever have been and then builds you up so that you can't be broken down no more. So how can somebody punk you when you're in Christ? They can't punk the Spirit of God in you unless you act up like them. Now, got that? Should I break that down a little more? I'll bring it out. Now, by the way, what I'm saying is when I say God has broke me down, He brought me to where I was eating out of garbage cans, sleeping in abandoned buildings, sleeping in subway tunnels, looking like a dirty mop dog, and not washing and not cleaning. So if He broke me down to that much and then brought me up to where I'm glorified now, nothing should bother me anymore.
Amen.
I'm no longer sleeping in the street. I'm no longer eating out of garbage cans. I'm no longer sleeping in tunnels. I'm paying my rent. I'm going to work. So why should something bother me? If it didn't bother me when I was on drugs, why is it going to bother me now? When I'm off of drugs, I should be solid enough to stand strong and say, you need to get where I'm at.
Bring the message.
Right. Keep talking. You need to get where I'm at.
Bring the message.
You the one got a problem, not me. So why would I let them hurt me? You can't punk me. I'm good. You can't make me feel bad. I'm good.
Rest.
How you gonna make me feel bad? I got a whole big ministry like this. Nothing you can do. I got a name in heaven. I'm reading the Lamb Book of Life. What you can do to me? What can you do to me? That's what Moses was telling them. Moses was like, what you gonna do to me, Pharaoh? I mean, really, what you gonna do to me? I saw God face to face. I got a right. What you gonna do to me? My name is in the Book of Life. You better hope your name get in there. You can curse me all you want. You can call me all kind of stupid and everything. You can call me everything. But I know I'm going to heaven. Where you going? And if you do that, next month you be praying for them to come alive from their deathbed. Because God sees you strong. Don't worry, God will fight your battle. I don't care who it is. Just leave it in God's hand. He'll fight your battle. You ain't got to prove nothing. Like I said before, I say it again. You ain't got to stand up for me. There's an entourage of angels going before me. Even when I'm not here, they're here. You don't have to protect me. My character, my name cannot be destroyed. It can't. Don't worry. Don't worry. They can't mess with me. I got a man up there that wiped the slate clean. If he could wipe the slate clean of my criminal history, what can these people say? What can they say? It don't matter. It don't matter. The government matters. The FBI matters. If he wiped all that clean, what you gonna do? You gonna lock me up? You gotta lock me up. So what character could they assassinate?
Himself.
I mean, so me, God has blessed me. He has blurred the eyes of the enemy. I walked through some dry places that they used to be mad and hate, and they don't even know who I am. I would have to tell them who I am. But I won't, because I don't want to bring back the past. But some people you walk by, you know you had a problem with them before, and you know they want to get you, and you walk right near them and they don't know who you are. I'm like, oh sweat, ain't that the one? That's what I had an issue with 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I'm like, you don't even know I am. Why? Because they messed up in their brain. God has blinded their eyes.
There you go, there you go.
So don't think only the devil can blind their eyes. God can blind their eyes so they can't see. He has bring them in a protected place. Just like Daniel in the lion's den. But you got to have that faith. You got to have that work. See, he put in work to get that blessing. You got to put in work. You don't want to put in work, but you want to go in the lion's den and think God will protect you? For what? The God here cause more confusion? No. You got to put in work. He had a mission. He had a work to do. He had people to free. Who's Daniel in you? Who's Apostle Paul in you? What do we do? We in 1 Corinthians 5, right? Let's get this. We're almost done. We're almost done. God is a good God. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 5 says, it is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so as much named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. And ye are puffed up and have not rather mourned that he that have done the deed might be taken away from among you. For I verily ask, this is what I want to get at. Verse 3. Read verse 3. This is what I'm talking about, an out-of-body experience. Even though I may not be here, I'm here. Even though the pastor may not be there, they're there. Look at what he said. For verily, as absent in body and present in spirit, have judged already as though I were present, concerning him that have done such a deed. So look at that. For verily I, as absent in body, but present in spirit. So I might not be here in body, but because I'm the shepherd of the church, I'm here in spirit. And the Spirit of the Lord is walking and identifying and letting me know what's going on. You might not believe it, but I guarantee you, I can tell you what the Lord is telling me that happens in here.
Come on, man.
Who don't tell the CEO what's going on in their business? You got to know God in ministry. This is his ministry. He put me shepherd. He need to tell me what's going on when I'm absent. Even though I might have elders, assistants, pastors, but I can't rely on that. I have to have a vision for my connection with God in my sleep and say, son, this is what's happening. Go straighten it out. It didn't end with Moses. It's still the same today with everybody in leadership. He has to tell me what's going on in the camp. He had to do that with Joshua. Remember we started this ministry. We have a Joshua ministry. We went over our Jordan into our Jericho. Now we in Jericho. We got to make sure we get that sin out of the camp. Remember the camp of Achan?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Achan, it was a sin in the camp. They went out to war against the enemy. They lost the battle. Joshua went home. He said, Lord, why did I lose? He said, because there's sin in your camp. And he had to go in there and find out who had the sin. And come to find out, it was one of the friends in there that stole jewelry from the camp. Achan. And he stole the jewelry when they were supposed to burn and destroy all the jewelry. I know the Bible. Read your Bible. And instead of them burning the jewelry, he took something in his house and hide it. And then when the Lord revealed it to Joshua, Joshua killed him, his whole family, and burned everything they belonged and put it out. So you cannot tell me, God, when I tell the overseer or the leader what's going on in their camp. Because things ain't working the way it should work, then there's something wrong. Lord, what happened? I don't need to hear it from them. I want to hear it from God.
Hey, thank you, Jesus.
And then God fixes it now. This is what he's doing. He's bringing back the spirit of unity that was shattered no matter how long ago. He's bringing back the spirit of the wars of togetherness.
Thank you, Jesus.
Unity, togetherness, reconciliation is in the air now. And that's what he's doing today. He's bringing back the power that he wants. So when somebody walks through the door, they automatically say, oh my God, I feel it. This is what the glory is. Think about it. Read your Bible. The glory, when the glory came, they all bowed or they just couldn't look at it. It was so powerful, they couldn't look at the glory of God. Devils can't come in the glory of God. Enemies can't come in the glory of God. And it got to be that way whether I'm here or not. I can't go home and have no more beats and tosses and scratches and bruises in my sleep. Like, what in the world crawling on me? What's beating me? What's tearing me up? What's going on? Yeah, you ain't having peace till you straighten up the house. Wait a minute. I like peace. I don't know about you, but I don't like having my house. I don't like having my sleep. I like peaceful sleep. I like peaceful church. I like peaceful. We're going to have peace. He said in his Bible, I am a God of peace. Peace I leave unto you. Peace as I leave unto you. Peace. He left peace. He didn't leave war. He didn't leave trouble. He didn't leave backbite. He didn't leave anger. He said, I leave peace. He blew peace on it. And this is what we have here. And this is what we're going to keep on having. Ain't no devil in hell going to stop us. Ain't no outsider going to stop us. Don't let no outsider come in and separate them and try to cause confusion in the church. I don't care if he's my right-hand man, right-hand woman. No. 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 Be Ruth. I am not leaving. Be Naomi. Okay. Don't move. Be a predecessor. Take this place by storm. You can read 1 Corinthians 5, 1 through 6. It's you know, the most important one I want you to get is this. Verse 6. Your glory is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out. Therefore the old leaven that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened, for even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. In other words, one little mistake that you let go by can destroy the whole place. A little leaven is when you bake a cake. The leaven is like the starch. And, you know, you put a little too much, it'll mess up. It'll mess up the whole cake. Or you put a little bit that's not right, it'll mess up the whole cake. So it'll destroy everything. So that one argument, if it's not fixed, can destroy the whole thing. one spark could set a blaze that you have out of control because you never distinguished that spark. And before you know it, everything is destroyed. Then you got to say, Lord, what happened? Because you didn't, as a man of God, fix or confront or rectify whatever it was that was wrong. Why? Because I'm scared. I don't want anybody. I don't want to bear them offense. No, I'd rather disobey God and just have peace. No, you got to step up and do what's right. And you can't never fall victim to the enemy no more. The devil can't come in here and make you get out of character. The devil can come in here and turn the chairs around and make the church crazy. Call 911. You don't got to get out of character. 911 is all we use at the program. Somebody come in here acting stupid. 911, yeah, we got a problem. I ain't going to step to them. That ain't my job. I don't get paid that. Let the cop do it. They get paid to step to an unruly person.
Go ahead, Bishop.
That's what they get paid for. Don't go crazy in the church. Just step outside, currently make a phone call. Now I want to be here because the officer, this person is causing confusion and we can't have our order of service. Could you please remove the person? And you just be cool. That person will act up and they ain't moving. But if you act up, they're both going to go. Remember that? You had that situation? You fighting, your girlfriend fighting, your boyfriend fighting, y'all both fighting. Next thing you know, y'all both go to jail. She in one car, you in another car. You're like, what the heck? Because y'all both was fighting. So y'all both in the pulpit like, oh man. No, that was, you know. But I called him, but you still was acting up. So this is important. Write those scriptures down. Remember those scriptures. And Hebrews 5 is where Elder came from this morning. And, he really touched that scripture. He really, touched that scripture down for Sunday school. And I learned some stuff. I got all this mostly from that, but plus from what the Lord has showed me. But this helps to, add on to it. But you got to anchor your soul in God. Look at this in verse 11. Hebrews 6:11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. But that desire word came again. Something about that desire word. You gotta have desire. You gotta have desire. But let's go there. All right, we're gonna stop. But Hebrews 5, we're gonna look. Hebrews doing 11 down. But just look at 14 or 13. But look at that. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongs to them that are full of age, not old, but in spirit of God, understanding the word. Even those who by reason have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. I have a problem with prophets that always discern good or always discern evil. You got to have a balance in ministry. There's always a balance in God. He's a God of balance. He weighs the pros and cons. His world is built on balances. The more you feed the spirit, the more your spirit lives. The less you feed the spirit, the less your spirit lives. It's a balance thing. God is a balanced God. So you got to balance your discernment. You got to be able to discern the good and the evil. But so many people come and just see evil. What is going on with the church? Very rarely do you see them discern good. And they feel to praise someone is taboo. If you want to get a lot of members, show how bad they are. No. Even though they might be bad, show them a little good. You came in today, even though you messed up and you did all that the Lord has shown me, but you came in today. God doesn't give you discernment to destroy anybody. He gives you the knowledge to help them come out of what they come in, out of what they got into, not to make them feel bad. Some things you don't need to say in public. I might hear from the Lord something about you, and I shouldn't have to tell everybody your business. It's not their business. This gets me mad. I'm like, you prophesying in the world, not to me. If it's prophecy for me, tell me. Don't tell everybody my prophecy.
That's right.
If he want everybody to know, he would have said this is for everybody about me. People do it wrong.
That's right.
They don't discern right. I got discernment. Yeah, well, for what? To tell somebody else about what I'm doing? And that's your discernment? I discern you, I'm going to tell someone what I discern. And it's not proper. I'm just saying in the spirit of Christ that we got to watch and pray because we all are going to be potentially have our own ministries. And when you have your own church, you're going to go through this. And now that you know what not to allow and what to address,